You know that feeling when the morning's so quiet you can hear the bees buzzing, the kind of peace you want to bottle up and keep forever? That's how it was, standing on my porch with a mug of coffee gone cold, watching the sun creep over the fields behind our little farmhouse in Willow Creek. Then I saw Ida, shiny black Cadillac Escalade rolling up my gravel drive, glinting like it was daring the dawn to outshine it. Vanity plate, red HOA boss. My Gutzunk. I knew who this was before she even stepped out. Linda Voss, the iron-fisted queen of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, striding toward me like she owned the dirt under my boots. Linda was all sharp edged jet black bob, crimson jacket so crisp it could cut glass, and a clipboard clutched like a battle axe. Her heels stabbed the ground as she marched up, eyes locked on the old green John Deere tractor parked out back, half hidden by a tarp and a cedar fence. "Mr. Harlan," she snapped, not even pretending it was a question, "that tractor's gotta go. It's an eyesore, violates our aesthetic standards." I set my mug down, slow, feeling the heat rise in my chest. "Linda, that's my land, not HOA turf. That plot's grandfathered in from '98, before your cul-de-sac swallowed half the county." She didn't blink, just flicked her pen across that damn clipboard. "The covenants are clear, Tom. Visible equipment must align with community standards. That thing's industrial drags down our property values." I wanted to laugh, but it caught in my throat. Property values? I laid the foundations for half these houses when I ran a crew back in the day, knew every cracked pipe and shaky lot line. This wasn't about value, it was about control. That tractor, OL Green, wasn't just some rusty relic. It was my dad's, a '69 model we rebuilt after he passed, me and my boy Nate, spending nights in the barn, grease on our hands, piecing it together after my wife, Ellie, lost her fight with leukemia. It was more than metal, it was memory, a tether to the people I'd lost, to the life we'd built on this land before Willow Creek turned into a gated postcard. Linda didn't care. "You've got 48 hours to move it, or we'll handle it," she said, spinning on her heel, leaving a cloud of dust and a threat hanging in the air. I stood there, jaw tight, watching her Cadillac peel out, knowing she wasn't bluffing. Linda Voss didn't bluff, she struck. 2 days later, Nate and I were at the feed store, grabbing sacks of corn for the chickens, when my phone buzzed. A neighbor, Old Man Jenkins, texted me a grainy photo tire tracks gouged through my side yard. OL Green gone, tarp tossed in the dirt like trash. My heart slammed against my ribs. We raced home, trucks skidding on the gravel. The cinder blocks we'd used to brace the wheels were scattered, and the space where that tractor sat for years was just empty. Nate was already on his phone, pulling up the security cam we'd rigged last summer. There it was clear as day. 2 guys in a tow truck, no markings, hauling OL Green away like it was scrap. And there, off to the side, Linda in her red jacket, arms crossed, nodding like she'd just won a war. No notice, no letter, nothing. I growled, pacing the porch. "That's theft, Dad," Nate said, his voice low, eyes burning with that quiet fury he got from his mom. "She thinks she can just take what's ours." I dug through every HOA letter we'd ever gotten, 3 years of fines for dumb stuff like unapproved mailbox color or excessive wildflower growth. Not one mention of the tractor, no violation, no warning. Linda had gone rogue, flexing her power because she could. "We could call the sheriff," Nate said, but I shook my head. "She's got the HOA bylaws twisted to her side, probably filed some BS claiming it's abandoned. We fight her on her terms, we lose." Nate leaned back, that slow grin of his creeping up, the one that meant trouble. "Then we don't fight her, Dad. We outplay her." I raised an eyebrow. "What's that mean?" He leaned in, voice dropping. "Her Cadillac. She parks it at the HOA office every day. I got an idea. I should have stopped him right there, told him to keep it clean, but something in Meme, the part that was done being pushed, wanted to see where this was going. Nate's a wizard with machines, always has been. Kid could take apart a lawnmower at 12 and have it purring by dinner. Turns out, Linda's Cadillac had been sitting at Pete's auto shop for a week, unpaid repair bill piling up. Pete's an old buddy from my contracting days, owed Nate a favor after he fixed a busted combine for free. Linda ignored the shop's notices, thinking her HOA clout covered her, but she missed the fine print mechanics lien laws. Pete filed, the DMV signed off, and just like that, the Cadillac was Nate's, legal and clean. By the next weekend, that shiny SUV was in our barn, stripped to its bones. Nate worked like a man possessed, welding, cutting, bolting on massive tires, a plow blade, even a slow-moving vehicle triangle. He turned that Cadillac into a tractor street legal, registered, and christened Linda's lawnmower with a hand-painted sign on the hood. It was absurd, beautiful, a middle finger made of steel and spite. We rolled it out at dawn, parked it exactly where OL Green had been, just visible enough to catch the eye of anyone looking to be offended. By 9 a.m., Linda was there, storming up my drive, clipboard swinging like a guillotine. "What the hell is this, Tom?" she shrieked, pointing at the monstrosity. "This is harassment. You've ruined my car." I sipped my coffee, calm as could be. "Not your car anymore, Linda. Mechanic's lien, all legal, titled, and registered. Want to see the paperwork?" Nate stepped up, holding out a binder thick with permits, grinning like he'd just won the lottery. She swatted it away, face redder than her jacket. "This is a mockery. You've parked this thing in plain sight." Nate didn't miss a beat. "Funny, you didn't mind parking your tow truck on our land to steal ours." The neighbors were starting to gather now, peeking over hedges, whispering. Linda spun around, muttering about lawsuits, fines, the city. "You've made a mistake, Harlan," she hissed, storming off, heels kicking up gravel. I called after her. "Funny, I was going to say the same to you." That night, we emailed every neighbor in the HOA Director Linda's mistake, leaving it public after a botched vote last year. We attached photos of Linda's lawnmower, the security footage of her stealing OL Green, and a simple question: "If they can take my tractor, what's next?" By morning, our inbox was flooded. Neighbors I hadn't spoken to in years spilled their stories, fines for kids' chalk drawings, citations for unapproved birdhouses, even a guy who got hit for planting sunflowers too tall for Linda's liking. The dam broke. A petition started, calling for an emergency vote to dissolve the HOA board. By week's end, it had 65 signatures, more than enough to force a reckoning. Linda didn't go quietly. She sent fake citations, filed false zoning complaints, even tried to claim our tractor was leaking oil into a shared greenbelt. But Nate had read every line of the HOA bylaws, and we had the county surveyor on speed dial. The guy came out, walked our lot with a laser, and handed us a map proving our land was ours, free and clear. Linda's lies fell apart faster than her flower beds when she stopped watering them. Then the big blow landed. Mark, a quiet guy down the street who worked at City Hall, dug up proof Linda had funneled $20,000 in HOA funds to her brother's landscaping company, a shell with no office, no license. We sent that to the city, and within days, Linda was suspended, the HOA board frozen, pending an audit. Neighbors started waving again, bringing pies, sharing stories. For the first time in years, Willow Creek felt like a town, not a prison. The city hearing was packed, standing room only. I stood at the mic, looking out at faces I'd known for decades, but never really seen folks who'd kept their heads down, scared of Linda's wrath. I told them about OL Green, about my dad, Ellie, the nights Nate and I spent rebuilding it to keep our grief at bay. "Linda didn't just take a tractor," I said, voice steady but raw. "She took a piece of us, and she did it because she thought no one would fight back." Nate showed the permits, the fake citations, the proof of her theft. Then the neighbor's spooky a mom fined for a Christmas wreath. A vet hassled over his flag. A kid whose basketball hoop vanished. When Mark dropped the audit docs, showing Linda's embezzlement, the room gasped. The mayor called a vote. Every hand shot up to dissolve a board, except Linda's and her lawyers, who looked like he'd rather be anywhere else. It was over. No gavel, just a quiet, collective breath like we'd all been holding it for years. The next day, a flatbed rolled up with OL green, scuffed but whole. I ran my hand over the hood, felt Ellie's laugh in the metal, my dad's calloused hands. Nate joined me, and we just stood there, two men who'd fought a giant, and one not for revenge, but for something bigger. Dignity. That weekend, we threw a bonfire, no permits, just neighbors, pie, and a tractor for the kids to climb. Nate got elected to the new HOA board, the youngest ever, promising to keep it fair. I passed on running me fight was done. I just wanted my land, my boy, and the hum of bees and the wildflowers Ellie planted. But here's the thing, Linda's still out there, quiet for now, but people like her don't vanish. She'll scheme, maybe come back with a lawyer or a new angle. And that's why I'm telling you this. We took back our home, but it started with one question. What's worth fighting for? So, tell me in the comments, what would you do if someone tried to take what's yours? Have you faced your own Linda? Drop your story below, hit that like button if you're with us, and subscribe for more tales of standing your ground. Because out here, some fights aren't just about winning theory, about reminding the world who you are.